Hello guys, good afternoon. Just like what I promised yesterday, in this video we are going to work with exercise 1004. What we did yesterday was exercise 1003, and on this video, the exercise 1004 would be on another level of difficulty. So I would say about 7 out of 10 in regards to the difficulty, and yesterday was just about 4 out of 10. So this is quite difficult compared to yesterday's exercise. So on this exercise, we are going to create a container with a handle, and the specifications are shown on my screen. The radiuses, the diameters, the lengths, the heights, and the angles. So in order for us to arrive towards the same model as shown on my screen, we need to follow these specifications. So let's get started. So we need to get a sketch. You need to create a sketch, and before that, we need to make sure that the workspace units will be on in millimeters. So that it's already in millimeters. So you need to click on sketch, click on the front plane because the general sketch here is on the front plane. So you need to do the same thing. So first things first, you need to we need to draw a line which is 300 millimeters because that is the vertical height, the vertical length or the height of the figure. So click anywhere. You need to hover your mouse onto the origin to make sure that we are following a straight line, and then you click at the edge. You need to, after clicking 2 times, you're gonna click on 300. You need to type in 300 millimeters. So there you go, a 300 millimeter vertical length. And then the next thing would be the 120 millimeter diameter. In order for us to make sure that we are following a straight line, the same thing, we are going to hover our mouse at the origin, and then in order for us to follow the same vertical length of 300 millimeters, we are going to hover our mouse at the tip of the 300 millimeter length. So once you do so, you can see a yellow dotted lines, and what you're going to do is click on the intersection. So as you can see, it's safe to say that what you clicked on the correct line, and you are following a 300 millimeter vertical length, and also you are at the middle of the origin. So just gonna click on dimensions, and then make sure this is, since it's 120 millimeter diameter across, so since we are basing it from the middle, so this needs to be 60 millimeters. Same thing as on the left side, needs to be at 60 millimeters also. So that will be when you create a dimension of these two lines, it will have 120 millimeter diameter. Then the next thing that you would do would be the downward line, which is 45 millimeter. The length would be 45 millimeters. So I'm gonna click on this line. I'm gonna click on this one, and then drag your mouse downwards anywhere. You're just gonna click anywhere. That's 49.84. Don't worry, because you will be able to edit that one by using dimension. Click on the 2 points. You can see 49.84 millimeters. What's indicated on the exercise 1004 is 45 millimeters, so you're just gonna put 45. Alright, it's good. And same thing, do it at the right side. You're just gonna click on this tip, and then you're gonna drag your mouse downwards. And don't worry if you're at first click, the second click that you did, you were not able to get 45 millimeters. It's okay, because you'll be able to adjust the dimension by clicking on the dimension tool and clicking on the 2 points. Input the specified length, and then it's indicated here that the first line should have, the outside line should have a thickness of 8 millimeters compared to the inside figure. So it will have a thickness of 8 millimeters. So just gonna put it here. So you're gonna click here at the tip, drag your mouse to the right side and indicate 8 and drag it downwards. Hover your mouse at the tip so that you'll be able to follow it on a straight line. And then same thing, hover your mouse, drag your mouse to the left side, hover your mouse, drag your mouse downward, and hover your mouse at the tip of this line so that it will have a straight line, and it will also have a 45 millimeter length. So as you can see, you have an 8 millimeter thickness on both sides. That's about it. And it's indicated here on the drawing that it needs to have a radius of 60. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on circle, a center point circle, and since this is based on the outside figure, so you're gonna draw a circle on the outside figure. Click it here, and you need to indicate the diameter, which is 60. Same thing on the right side, click on the outside line and indicate diameter as 60, and that's it. So we need to create a line that will have a 40 degrees angle across, starting from the downward 45 millimeter length. So what you're going to do is just gonna click on this one and make sure that it will have a straight line from the origin. So you're gonna hover your mouse on the origin, and then you're gonna drag your mouse to the leftwards. As you can see, there's a yellow dotted line. This will tell you that you are following a straight line. Then you're gonna click that there. You're gonna click it again, and the same thing on the right side. You're gonna hover your mouse on the origin and then drag it rightwards and click it again. In order for us to make sure that we'll be able to get a 40 degree angle, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the line and then construction line. We're going to create a line at the middle. This will be our a line in which we are going to base our angle. And then you're going to click on dimension. You're going to click on the line at the middle and the line at the right side. You can see there's an angle that will pop up. As of now, it is indicating that we have an angle of 21.5 degrees. So what we need is, since this is 40 degrees across, what we need is 20 degrees each side. So we're just gonna put in here 20 degrees. Same thing as the right side. The left side. We are also going to indicate a 20 degree angle. Alright, so that means since we have 20 degrees on each side, we will have a 40 degree angle across. Alright, so we need to connect these lines, because in order for us to have a length of the in order for us to have a base, we need to connect these 2 points. So we're gonna click on line and connect these 2 points. Alright, so as of now, we already have a general figure. And then we need to follow a thickness of 8 millimeters. So we need to click on construction line. Make sure that in order to make sure that we'll have a thickness of 8 millimeters on the figure, you're just gonna create a construction line. Make sure that it is perpendicular to this line, and then click on dimension and specify it as 8 millimeters. Then you're gonna click on this line and connect this point and this point, and connect this one. And then after that, it's okay if there are excess lines, just like this one, because we can just cut that line, the excess line, afterwards. So after we have already indicated everything as 8 millimeter thickness. Same thing, 8 millimeters, and then you're gonna draw a line, not a construction line, but an actual line on each side. As what I've said, it's okay if we have excess lines, because we can just cut them later on. So the same thing as this one, anywhere on this line you can draw a line which is we need to make sure that it is perpendicular to this line so that we'll be following an exact 8 mm thickness across. So the same thing, indicate it on the dimension as 8 mm, and then create a line across, downwards, and also connect it on this line. And then after that, just like what I've said earlier, you can just cut the excess lines. Cut these lines, cut these lines, this and this, and this one. And you can now cut your circles because those circles only serves as your guide that you are having a 60 mm diameter. Cut the circle. Alright, so as of now you have the general figure. We are following the same thing. So what we're going to do next is we need to indicate a radius of 20 mm on each downward corners of our base. So first of all, you need to click on this sketch fillet. Click on sketch fillet. You need to click on the corner, on a point on the corner, this one and this one. Since specified here in the drawing, it needs to be 20 mm. So as of now, I have 60 mm, so we need to make this one as 20. So you're just gonna click it again, and then click input 20 mm, and there you go. You'll have a 20 mm fillet or radius. And the next thing, same thing as the inside lines, inside angles. So the 20 mm radius here actually indicates that two of these corners should have a 20 mm radius. So the same thing as this one, you need to click on sketch fillet, click on this point and to the other point. As you can see, since we were able to edit the first radius as from 60 to 20, so the next time that you're going to sketch fillet, it will directly or automatically put in 20 mm there. So the most recent number that you have input, that will be the next time that you're going to use sketch fillet, it will automatically be available, or you can actually automatically input 20 mm without editing. So I'm just gonna click on 20 mm. Alright. So all of these two angles, these two corners, or they have a 20 mm radius. So as of now, we are halfway there in finishing our exercise 1004. So we have the general look of the figure. As you can see, we have a 20 mm radiuses. So the next thing and most challenging thing that we need to do is the handle. So this is quite difficult, so just be careful, and we can replay this video over and over again in order for you to create the same thing as shown here in the exercise 1004. So let's start with the handle. So it says here that it needs to have a 70 mm distance from the tip of the container towards the center point of the handle, upper part of the handle. So you're gonna click on this one and click construction line, click on the tip, and create a line downwards. It needs to be 70 mm. Since it is at the middle, so that means since the thickness of this is indicated as 10 millimeters, that means since it is at the middle, so upward would be 5 millimeters and downward would be 5 millimeters. So what you're going to do is we are going to follow the construction line. So from the 70 mm downward, it says here that the distance from the point of intersection here from the drawing of the container and its handle would be 30 millimeters rightward. So we need to click on 30 millimeters rightward from the outside figure. So it is not from the inside but from the outside figure. So we need to we need to hover our mouse from this one. Make sure that you are following the yellow line so that it is a straight line, and then to click on the outside figure and then it says that we need to do it as 30 millimeters. So 30 millimeters from the outside figure, I mean outside line towards the right side, rightwards. And then what you're going to do is have a down to the right line at exactly 135 degrees from the horizontal. So we're just gonna, and the length would be 100 millimeters. So we're just gonna click anywhere. It's okay if you were not able to indicate the angle first, as long as you'll be able to specify that this one is 100 millimeters. And in order for us to follow the same angle 135, you're just going to click on dimension, click on this line, and click on this line. So it will pop up, it will show the current angle of the two lines. So as of now, it has an angle of 131 degrees, so we need to make it as 135. So it will automatically adjust on the drawing, on the sketch that we are making. So next thing that we would do is, since we already have the 100 millimeters down to the right, next is the another line down to the left. It does not specify here the actual length of this one, so we need to follow the angle as long as we are able to connect this point towards this line. So the specified angle here is 110. So you need to click on line, construction line, click on this point and just connect it anywhere on this line, because we will just edit the angle afterwards. So let's say I'll put it here, and then I'm gonna click on dimension and click on the two lines. As of now, it has an angle of 104. The indicated angle here is 110, so we're gonna put 110. So as you can see, it automatically adjusted to the angle that we have specified. So as of now, we have the skeleton of our handle. The next thing that we would do is, since this is the middle line, that's why I just used construction line, because it is the middle line. As you can see, this one, the middle line, we are following the middle line. So we need to have a thickness of 10 millimeters as indicated, a thickness of 10 millimeters from this one from this point towards this point. In order to do so, the same thing as what we did earlier. Click on this one, click on the construction line, and we need to have a, since this is at the middle, so that means dividing the 10 millimeters by 2 will only indicate 5 millimeters here. So 5. The same thing downward, I'm gonna put 5. So 5 plus 5, that would have 10 millimeter thickness across. So the same thing here, needs to be 5. I mean, not that one. Yeah, that needs to be 5. And same thing here. Make sure that it is perpendicular towards the line, okay, so that we'll be able to get a 5 by 5, 5 plus 5 millimeter thickness across. So the same thing here, click 5. Alright, so we're gonna create a line now. It's okay if there are excess lines, as long as we are following the specified thickness. Okay, and the same thing here downward. So we'll be following lines of the same thickness as what is indicated on the exercise. So that will be 5, 5 each side. That will have a total of 10 millimeters across. So create another line here downward. Make sure to connect it on this outside line of the figure, like that, and then move it across. Same thing here. And then create a section line in the middle. Actually, this 5, and also 5 upward. Okay. So do not worry about the excess lines because we can just cut them after we have already done indicating and specifying the correct thickness. So that's about it, and we'll be cutting excess lines. So let's start with here, cut this line, cut this line, cut this line, and cut this. And the same thing here, cut this line, cut this line, 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 and this line, and that one. And the upper part, cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this one, and cut this too, cut the middle lines, and this one, and this one, cut this one. Alright, there you have it. You'll have your handle now. The structure of your handle, the basic structure of your handle is already done. And next thing is we need to specify the radiuses of the handle. So we'll have smoother edge angle. Yeah, smoother angles. As of now, this is showing as angular, but we need to make it as conic or circular tips. In order to do so, we need to follow the radiuses specified on the exercise 1004. So here, at that side, the radius is 3 millimeters. So click on sketch fillet. This one should be 3 millimeters. So it says here you cannot add sketch fillet because there is a line connecting this to this. In order to add sketch fillet, you need to delete that line, cut that line, and then click on sketch fillet and click this one. As of now, it is on 20 millimeters. We only need 3 millimeters. That's good. Next thing would be stem downwards. All inside fillets are 3. Upward fillet and upward inside fillet is 3. So same thing here. We cannot add sketch fillet because there's a line that connects this point towards this point. So in order to, this point to this point, in order to add, we need to cut this line. And then add sketch fillet, click on this one, and 3, enter. Alright, so we are already done with the 2 corners. And the next thing would be this line. We have to have a radius of 20 here and 20 upward. So this needs to be 20. So in order to do so, click on sketch fillet, click on this point, click left click, and then indicate 20. Oh, wait. Drag. It's okay. Control Z. There's something wrong. Click on sketch fillet, click on this one, and click 20. Alright, that's good. And the same thing on the upper part. This one is also 20. So click on sketch fillet, click on this, and then click on 20. Alright, it's good. And the upper part here, this one should also be 20. It's good. On this part, let's see what's the angle. The radius. The radius is also 20. So again, click on sketch fillet, click on this point, and then enter 20. So as of now, we are almost done. We need to delete this line. Next thing that we would do is to have a fillet of a radius of 3 here, downward. This one. So just click on sketch fillet, click on this point, and then since we only need 3, so we need to edit and input 3. Alright. And the same thing on the upper part here. This needs to be also 3, because that will be 3 here, and 3 here. It was not indicated, but as you can see, since outside fillets needs to be 3 millimeters in order to have a balanced handle. So this needs to be 3 also. Alright. So we already have the figure is already done. As you can see, if we click on check, and compare it to the drawing, we have followed the same specifications on the drawing here. So since we already finished specifying the lengths, the diameters, the radiuses of the figure, what we are going to do is we are going to make use of our revolve tool, extrude tool, and the solid fillet tool. The other one was sketch fillet tool, and this one will be solid fillet tool. So again, we need to click on edit sketch 1 to go back to our sketch. We need to remove excess lines. This one, we need to remove this one and this one. Removing excess lines. Do not remove that one. So sorry. Just need to remove this line because there's a reason why we should not remove the middle line, because we can use this middle line as our basis of our revolve tool. I'll be able to show it to you uh, to you about it earlier. So I mean later. So delete. We need to delete this one. I deleted that one or cut that line because in order to make use of a revolve tool, in order to have a hollow upper part, the lid of our container, we need to delete that one in order to revolve, so that if we revolve it, we will come up with a hollow. Because if we do not remove that one, the lid will not be hollow, or the lid will not be open. It will be closed. It will be a solid upper lid. So since I was able to delete that one, so we are all good. The next thing that I would do would be clicking on check. So I'm going to showcase to you the use or how to make use the revolve tool. So this is the revolve tool. Click on revolve tool. You need to click on faces and sketch regions to revolve. So this will be the face and sketch region I want to revolve. I'm so sorry, we need to go back to our sketch because it needs to be only half, because we're using 180-degree revolve. Alright, so we have already separated the left part from the right part. The reason we need to separate these two is that in order for us to do the revolve tool, we only need the half part of this drawing, because we are revolving this at a 360, I mean full revolve 360. So we need to revolve totally. We are only basing it at the left side of the figure in order to fully revolve this figure. So we'll be also coming up with this kind of model. So revolve tool, click on this side at the left side, click on this left side, and the revolve axis. The reason why we should not delete the middle part is this will be our axis. So once you click the revolve axis, bang, you see, that's the reason why we only need half of the figure, and we need this revolve axis, because this will be the middle line in which the drawing will revolve from. So it's hollow and it's not closed. As you can see, if you're going to re-edit I'll show you the difference why we should actually open this one. If you're going to re-edit this one, and we're gonna put in a line, it's like that, and then we're gonna use revolve, and we're gonna click on these two, because you cannot, or just clicking on this one, and let's include the outside part. Click on revolve axis, click on this axis, and see, it's closed. It's not hollow. So it needs to be hollow, because that is what is specified here in our drawing. That's why I deleted the upper part, the cover of our sketch. So we need to delete this one, so that we'll have a hollow lid. And then click on revolve, click on this one, click on revolve axis, click on this axis, and there you go. Alright, we already have the figure. What we need now, what we lack is the handle. So let's hide this part. Let's go back to the handle, and the next tool that we are going to use would be revolve. I mean extrude. Need to extrude. If you're going to click on here, the figure that we are going to extrude is all of this one, including this one. What we only need is the handle. So in order to do so, we need to re-edit our sketch. Make sure to connect these points. Connect these points to separate the handle from the body. These points to connect the handle from the body of our figure. So zoom to fit. So since we already created the line that separates the body from its handle, so we'll be able to extrude specifically the handle only. See? Alright, so as specified here on the exercise 1004, it needs to have a thickness of 30 millimeters across. I mean, a thickness, width of 30 millimeters across and a thickness of 10. We already specified the 10 millimeter thickness, so what we are going to do on this extrude is specify it should be 30. And since this line is at the middle, this drawing is at the middle and it needs to have a 30 across, so we need to divide our depth or the thickness, the width of this as 15 millimeters each position. So from the left position to the right position, 15 millimeters each position, so we'll have a total of 30 millimeters. Alright, so that's the handle, and this is the body. See, we need to hide the body first. Next thing that we would do is, it says here it needs to be chamfered for a radius of 3 millimeters. So click on chamfer. I mean chamfered, it needs to be filleted. Circular fillet with a radius of 3 millimeters. So click on this edge, just like that, and we click on this edge. Each edge will have a 3 millimeter radius. Downward edge, and this one. As you can see, when you click on check, there's already a fillet. It's already circular. It's a smooth edge, no longer you can actually hold this one without getting injured or cut yourself, because this is a um, solid model, and if you are going to create this kind of model in real life, we need to have a soft and smooth edge for safety purposes and better handling. So it's already smooth, and the next thing that we are going to specify would be on the outside portion of this. So it does not show here what is the radius, so I'm just gonna assume that the radius will be 3 millimeters because it's not indicated what the radius is for the fillet on the body. So we need to hide part number 2, click on part number 1. Since we need to have a smooth edges, we need to have smooth edges. So the same thing, we need to click on fillet, click on the edges, and put in 3. The same thing on the inside part, put in 3, and click yes. So it's already smooth. And on the inside part, this needs to be 60 because it's indicated here. It needs to be 60 here, so this one should be 60. The outside part and the inside part should be 60, so this one should also be 60. So click on the outside part, put in 60, just like that, and the inside, this edge, no, that's not that one, this one should also be 60. So click. So these the edges, the points, the lines are all this smooth. So for better handling and better design. So we show part number 2. As of now, you already have the general, almost the same thing. The only difference is that there are lines because we are using two different CAD softwares, but it's okay as long as we are able to get the specified dimensions of the exercise 1004. So since these are two parts, we need to merge the two parts into one. In order to do so, we are going to use the Boolean tool. So click on this and click on this, and since it says here that Boolean resulted in no geometry change, the parts either do not intersect or are totally contained. So as you can see, if you're going to zoom in, it does not actually have an intersection. See, there's a gap between the two. In order to have an intersection, we're going to hide this one and we're going to click on thicken in order to move or to adjust this one. Let's thicken this one like that and thicken this one. Okay, and we click on part 1. It's okay if overlaps. When we click on Boolean, overlapping would be deleted, and you can see that they are already as one figure, the handle and the base. I mean the base. And then in order to remove all these points, the lines, you have to hide on sketch, hide the planes, okay, and hide the origin. So we only have our model here. And for finishing touches, it's okay if you do not do this step, or it depends on you. But for me, I would love to put in another fillet on this part. Oh no, it's not available. It's actually depending. It's actually no, we cannot actually put in fillet because it's already filleted. See, same here, it's already filleted. So that's it, guys. That's for exercise 1004. See, it's hollow inside. You can drink a cup of. You can pour in water inside this model. You can put in any type of fluid that you want. Okay. So isometric view, you can go on for translucent view. So it's okay. The best thing about translucent view is that you can see what's inside of the figure. So this is how it looks using translucent view. So if you compare this one with this one, actually almost the same. The only difference is that, just like what I've said earlier, there are certain lines that are not visible here that are visible here because we are using two different computer-aided drafting applications or softwares. So that's about it, guys. Thank you, and please hit like and subscribe for another video.